Hey guys, this is Kieran Kyo doing my week 8 assignment. Um, just brief checking up with you, my group, and my instructor. Just got back today from Ellensburg. I was over there killing two birds with one stone. I had a final interview with Kittitas Valley Fire and Rescue, so I'm in the top 12. So there's a possibility I could get a job there, which would be a dream come true. I'd really love to work for them. And I also was meeting with the paramedic program director at Central Washington University about joining his program in next year. Well, I'd have to start over this summer, but joining in the fall quarter and doing the short version, doing the 1 year portion, getting my certification, and then continuing classes when able to get a degree. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about today is the power of words PowerPoint. Um, I thought it was really funny in reading it a lot of the words with the different meanings and even different pronunciations, but they're spelt exactly the same. Um, and it's easy to see how someone who does not speak English as their first language would have a really hard time with our language. And I witnessed this firsthand in dealing with foreign people, but specifically this summer, I got the opportunity to work with a German girl and a girl from Switzerland, and they both spoke English as their second language, and sometimes things were lost in translation. So I can really relate to this PowerPoint uh, on a personal level. um, so I think something I can take away from that in my interpersonal relationships would be just giving people who speak English as a second language more wiggle room and more patience. Because it is confusing, especially when you put it out like that. Also, under the power of words section was the video of the woman who changed the wording of the blind man's sign, and that just really it stands out to me because I hate videos like this. I hate videos that are, you know, you see them on Facebook all the time and they pop up and the full title of the video isn't covered, so you got to click on it and it's some soppy crap that I think is staged. There's no other way about it. But I thought this one was really interesting because it did seem staged to me, and I did think it was soppy at first, and I still think it's soppy. But what really stood out was the message was exactly the same, but the wording was different, and that it changed the way that the message was interpreted, and ultimately, people donated more. So that was very cool. I thought. Lastly, the our instructor talked about the impact of language in her uh, one of the sections on this assignment, and she talked about how it's tough for her to teach a class on psychology using language online because so much is lost in translation, and that struck home for me because in my last relationship, I struggled a lot she and I struggled a lot with mis misunderstanding each other via text message or even via phone call because there's no nonverbal communication there, and it led to a lot of disagreements that could have been avoided because uh, I would say something and she would misinterpret it, or she would say something and I would misinterpret it, and we'd end up having a disagreement. So what I can take away from that is, I try not to have important conversations over the phone or especially through text message if I can avoid it. Nextly, I want to talk about your Japanese guests. Um, this stood out to me specifically because I took a small groups communications class last semester, and I took that with a Chinese instructor who spoke English as a second language. And he talked a lot about the cultural differences between China and America and the differences in the way that interactions are done, businesses conduct their business. And it's more about building a relationship and just the subtle differences in speech and in posture and interaction that can be interpreted as disrespect on both sides in America and in China, and how he had to learn how to be aware of that. It also reminds me of a comedian I like, Trevor Noah, who came over from I think South Africa, and he does a little skit on this same idea, and it's hilarious. But he's got a lot of great stuff to say, so I would recommend watching that also. Um, so I think I'm going to wrap this up. Yep, that's all. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye.